This show is brought to you by Bussco, your entrepreneurial hub on the web.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of Survival Instincts, the Entrepreneurial Show. I'm your host, Amy Khafash, and if you feel that you're about to go nuts while starting or growing your own small business, let me tell you that you have come to the right place. In this space, we talk about everything business while we try to decipher why in the world we ended up in the mess of business ownership. And most importantly, how to survive it. Today's phrase is when you don't know where to start from the very beginning. And on that note, let's get started. New year, new projects, new podcast, and it's new episode. It's 2023, people. We made it. Hey! And talking about making it, how are those New Year resolutions going? Are you still hitting the gym? Let me tell you something funny about New Year's resolutions. Starting this podcast was one of them. But from like 4 years ago. Maybe more. But hey, better late than never, right? With every new year, it feels like we do a reset in our hopes levels. We're full of enthusiasm and motivation. We tend to introspect and list everything we want to change for this new year. We start thinking that this year will be the year. And we truly believe it. We set some crazy goals for ourselves like, this year I will hit the gym and I will lose 50 pounds. When, to be honest, I've never been to a gym before. Or, this year I will accomplish every single one of my goals. When procrastination should be my last name. Or this year, this year will be my year. I will quit all the unhealthy habits I have had for over 15 years and turn my life around. Come on. And probably one of the craziest ones, this year, I will quit my job, open my own business, and become a successful entrepreneur. Crazy people. Why? From January to March 2022, 1.45 million businesses were registered here in the United States. In only 3 months. That's over a 33% increase in new business formations compared to the same time during 2020, which was already over a third comparing to 2019. So again, crazy people. Why? Did you plan it all along? Why become an entrepreneur? Why did you decide to become one? Why did you think that getting into this mess was a good idea? Did you wake up one day and decided to become one? Or was it your childhood dream? Were you born to be an entrepreneur? I don't think I would have ever told you I wanted to be an entrepreneur. If you have asked little Amy, I would probably have said I wanted to be an artist, an architect, a chef, or an event planner. Although, I would always go back to wanting to be a lawyer. And it's kind of funny because this same week, but 3 years ago, I was in a room full of people with tears running down my face nonstop while finishing the LSAT in Miami. I was so close to accomplishing my dream of attending law school and becoming a lawyer. And to be fair, I had a good chance to secure a spot in law school. For years, I worked on building this perfect profile with extracurricular activities, 2 majors, 3 minors, member of academic honor societies, and international awards. Deans, professors, and practicing lawyers brought my recommendation letters. Come on. I was that weird girl who wasn't even in college and was taking bar exams on the internet for fun. I was ready. But this show is not about how I became a lawyer. It's about raw entrepreneurship and the show that is having your own business. And so, something obviously happened at that point. And, call it law school, call it a secure job, call it a 10-plus-year career in something. Call it whatever you want. But why do entrepreneurs decide to risk pretty much everything secure and stable that they have? For what? A dream? Entrepreneurship seems to be the buzzword nowadays. However, what does it even mean to be an entrepreneur? And why are so many of them? The Google Dictionary defines the term entrepreneur as a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so. Okay, well, at the same time, all-powerful Google shows the report to the state of the global workplace in 2022. A study that found that along with dissatisfaction, workers were experiencing staggering rates of both disengagement and unhappiness. 60% of people reported feeling emotionally detached at work and 19% as being miserable. Only close to a third of workers reported feeling engaged, whatever that's supposed to mean. But are people not liking their jobs the real reason why they're opening their own businesses? Wouldn't just switching to a new job solve the problem? I remember a similar question popped up during one of the lectures in my college years. Why become an entrepreneur? The first reason shown in the slide was people's desire to be their own boss. I mean, not having a boss sounds pretty good, right? Not having someone telling you what to do and when to do it. It's like an adult version of parents if we think about it for a moment. And let's be honest here. We would get a little bit mad at our parents if we couldn't do what we wanted to do when we were kids. Which take us to the second reason shown in the slide, the desire to pursue their own idea. Again, being independent. The third reason people often want to become entrepreneurs is because of the financial rewards. And you see, when we think of entrepreneurs, we probably think of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, and maybe even Kylie Jenner. The big entrepreneurs over time. They built companies with valuations in the billions when they were young, and now they live to what it seems to be a perfect life, right? Looking at social media, they seem to be the heroes and rock stars of these times. And a part of us wants to be like them. They're like idols. The fast cars, the mansions, trips to space. Leaving aside the materialistic stuff, who wants to worry about not having enough money? Whether we like it or not, money is a big part of our life. And somehow, the majority of problems start and end because of money. So, with more money, fewer problems equals a happy life, right? They have money and they look happy. We want that. A problem-free life with our own businesses backing us up. But are we really willing to risk and sacrifice what's needed to get there? To start over from zero? After all, why do you think that just because you have a dream, you will make it happen? That's why years later, when the term immigrant entrepreneur came up in one discussion, it made sense. I mean, 55% of US businesses are founded by immigrants. I'm one myself. And being fair, immigrants know a thing or two about putting their entire lives in 2 bags and starting over in the unknown from scratch. They know what it means to risk everything for a dream they had. They know about resilience and long-term planning, things that you definitely need when starting your own business. But not too long ago, I came across an article that proposed the idea that entrepreneurs are born out of necessity. The necessity after losing a job or to supplement their income, the necessity to fill a gap in the market or to improve an existing offer. The necessity to pursue a passion, a dream. It's really hard to find people who have never wanted to create anything. We all have that crazy idea in the back of our minds. And to be honest, I think there is a little big entrepreneur hiding inside all of us. Some are hiding in small firms behind directing or operating roles because, well, The risk of investing their time, capital, and energy to start their own business when they have other obligations is just too high. Some are hiding in college because they were told that life was about going to school, getting good grades, getting a good job, and working till retirement, if money allows, of course. Some are just hiding and suppressing their entrepreneurial spirit behind fear and insecurity. But let me ask you something. What's the worst thing that could happen? And on the other side, how good could it be? Why would you do it? Why would you risk everything for a dream? A bunch of content has been created about the entrepreneurial life, how to start your own business, courses selling magic formulas, and what's supposed to be motivational videos of internet entrepreneurs showing fancy cars, lots of money, and traveling to beautiful destinations. No wonder we idealize the entrepreneurial life. It looks awesome. But when did it become cool to be an entrepreneur? Why did it happen? Is having your own business really that easy that everybody else is doing it? Is entrepreneurship the life hack to get instant happiness and loads of money to live life under your own terms? Well, anyone who has started or is starting a business can testify that it's a very different story. The be your own boss fairy tale crashes really fast with the reality that before, you had the benefit of having a boss. Meaning, you worked in a company that on one side secure your income, plus you got someone that offers some guidance, like an imposed accountability partner that dealt with most of the crappy stuff that you never wanted to deal with. Now, you don't have a boss, you have multiples, and they like to be called clients. If they feel that you're slacking, bye-bye client, bye-bye income. Pursuing your own ideas? Look, the imposter syndrome levels will be so high that you will end up using the calculator to do 2 plus 2. And you will even do it twice just to ensure that you didn't do it wrong the first time. Are you sure you're capable of generating a good idea? If a miracle happens and a good idea walks by, it's either the undiagnosed ADHD that will make it forget it before you can write it down, or the perfectionist in you will work its finest and feed the imposter a little bit more. Also, friends and family now think that you're free 24/7 since you manage your own schedule. They think that you're always free to do other stuff. And unfortunately, the most amazing plans will seem to happen when you gotta be responsible. But wait, we still have the financial rewards. It must be the financial rewards, right? I mean, business equals money. But let me ask you this. How is your relationship with money? Are you actually good at managing it? Forget taxes and accounting because you will most certainly need help with that. But what about setting your own pricing? Or getting paying customers? Have you thought about customer retention? Oh, and don't forget about crafting the customer experience. It's all about the experience. Did I also mention that every single thing that needs to be paid? And I'm not only talking about accountants, programs, contractors, marketing, employees, and raw materials or inventory, but your living expenses like taxes, going out, the car, and any other emergency. Now it comes out of your own pocket? Think about it for a moment. What would be your state of mind under those circumstances? How much do you actually need to have in the bank account to cover for all those basic expenses? How much will be clients paying you? How many clients do you need? And backing up a little bit, how do you even get that first client? So yeah, fast cars, mansions, and vacations. And hey, I'm not here to discourage you or to tell you that those things are impossible because they are very possible to attain. But I think that's where sometimes we get it twisted with social media and how told the stories. Because we don't see the grind, we don't see the sacrifice, the hustle, the consistency, the habits. The only time we see failures the effort, the problems, and the grind, is when we look at behind the scenes of a success story. If people saw what it actually took from the very beginning, maybe they would get inspired. But would they undergo the same challenges and keep going? And that's where we go back to the reason why. Because understand something first. Although big tech companies and large corporations tend to steal the spotlight in the business world, there are over 33 million small businesses across the United States. It represents 99.9% of businesses in the country. And 8 out of every 10 businesses are run by a single owner. Someone like your neighbor, your friend, by someone like you or me. Someone with a dream. And the dream was not to be their own boss or to follow their own ideas. It wasn't the financial rewards. Those might be the reasons why they got started. I mean, he would explain why 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. But what about those 30 or maybe 40 out of every 100 that are still standing after a decade? Why did they keep going? What was that desire so strong that kept them going through all the craziness, the stress, and the problems that working towards achieving that dream brought them over the years? Normally, it tends to be something so personal that only those with the right reasons will make it happen. That's something I think I was beginning to understand like a month before taking the exam to attend law school. Someone asked me how I would like to be remembered. Apparently, he went along with the week's theme because one of my mentors had requested me to write my own obituary 2 days before. Creepy, I know. But twice the same week, under 2 completely different circumstances? That could not be a coincidence. And that got me thinking. What in the world I wanted to do with my life? I thought I had it figured out. I wanted to be a lawyer so I could help people and down the road open an international law firm. Or maybe I wanted to be an event planner to create amazing experiences and end up having themed nightclubs. During my years as a trader, I could have sworn I could play a 1992 George Soros move and happily retire before 30 on a private island with cats and tequila. And to be honest, I wasn't sure how I wanted to be remembered. When my mentor asked for my obituary, the only thing written was, Ikigai, we will meet again. Do I even want to be remembered? What do I want people to remember? How would I live my life in a way so that when I die, people could remember me? Even though I wanted to become a lawyer, the reality was that I was known in my group of friends for always being entertained by some strange or random projects. I actually met most of the people in college just because I was talking with everyone on campus while filling a survey for a project. Some people think of me and even find it hard to believe that I graduated high school. Other people think I'm nuts for leaving my trading career just because I found some old notes and papers in my room. The same way that they must think I officially went cuckoo when I didn't even check the LSAT score and changed my plans to go into law school. But why is it that every time that we think about our lives, we normally define it as what we do, or how old we are, the things that we have, the position that we have? But what if we got it all wrong? What if instead of asking, how would you like to be remembered, the question was, how would you like to remember your life? You know, lights out, roll out the credits, the end trailer. How would you like it to be? Sometimes we don't think straight. We start comparing our lives to others and we get discouraged. We see other people achieving the things that we want, getting the promotion that we want, going on the trip that we want, having the money that we want. And we have an internal conflict with ourselves. We start questioning our decisions and we go on the verge of a new existential crisis. Am I on the right path? Is there something wrong with me? It goes down a rabbit hole that if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. And you know that it doesn't end pretty. Oftentimes, we end up a little bit embarrassed of our own story. It's nothing like those interesting biographies that we see on TV. It's rather a bunch of random stuff happening while we try to follow our plans. But sometimes we also forget that our story, it's only ours to have, no one else's. I think that's one of the beauties of life. So, if you could live however you wanted, how would your life look like? I know that when the time comes, I don't want to be thinking about the things that I didn't do, the opportunities I missed. You know, the story that when you die and go talk with a real boss shows you what you could have been. I didn't want to feel regret. I wanted to live a life in a way that when I look back, I could say I was doing the things that I loved with the people that I loved, or that I was on my way to get there. That I was happy and I felt like I had a purpose. Because, obstacles are going to emerge along the way regardless. Difficulties, hardships, things not going according to plan. Not everything will be a walk in the park. But if you don't face those things, you're missing a beautiful and sour aspect of life. That's where growth happens. That's where warriors are built. And far from saying go get yourself in some trouble so you can get tough, I'm saying learn to pick your battles. I invite you to go deep inside yourself, and I know sometimes it's not that easy, but think about how would you like to live your life from today forward. Don't think about how your life is right now and all the reasons why those crazy ideas that come to your mind cannot happen. Just think of how would you like it to be. What do you want out of life? How would a month in your new life would be? How would you like to remember your life? Write it down if you feel like it, and be as detailed as possible. Right there, you will have the answer for the next episode. And that being said, I want to thank you for making it this far into this crazy and wild episode. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's discussions. If you like what you heard or find it helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do all that stuff that you normally do when you find your new show. You can find us on Instagram at survivalinstincts_eshow or at Bussco.com. Again, I'm Amy Khafash, and it was an absolute pleasure to be your host today. You rock. See you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
This show was brought to you by Bussco, your entrepreneurial hub on the web.